I think the most important is to observe ourselves as little childs and awake that little child inside of us and take care of it as much as we can, give self care and self love every day. And this will expand to all our relationships. So, little by little, all can we feel compassion to each other.
Hello and welcome to the I Love Me Lab show. My name is Gail Buck, and I'm an NLP Master Life Coach, meditation instructor, and a seeker of happiness. And each week, we're going to bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover additional ways of self-care, self-love, and becoming a healthier, happier you. So thanks for spending time with us today, and let's let the show begin. Hi, and welcome everybody to the I Love Me Lab. I'm excited today to have kind of a little bit of a different kind of conversation today. And I have a facilitator, or some people might call her a medicine woman, and her name is Pamela Dharani. Did I pronounce that correctly, Pamela?
Perfect.
Yes? Okay, great. And so she is a very interesting woman that I was introduced to a few weeks ago by a friend of mine. And she is a medicine woman because she works with plant medicines. And we hear a lot about plant medicines. Probably the most popular one or the most common one we hear about is ayahuasca. And people ask me because I did have an ayahuasca experience myself. And I thought, well, how interesting it would be to get to speak with somebody who this is their life, is facilitating healing events using plant medicine. So thank you, Pamela, for taking the time to be with us here today.
Thank you, Gail. It's an honor. I'm living in the Mexican Caribbean, in the Riviera Maya, Playa del Carmen, mainly.
Beautiful area.
Yes.
Yes, and that's where you have retreats.
Yes. We're holding many kind of different retreats around the area, Tulum, Puerto Morelos, Playa del Carmen, mixed with different yoga, meditation, dance.
Awesome. And so that's kind of what I want to dig into, because I want to dispel some myths around plant medicine and bring some clarity, because we kind of have two camps. I mean, it's becoming more and more popular. Doctor, are you familiar with Dr. Gabor? I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Mate, M-A-T-E. Are you familiar with him?
I don't think so. No.
He is a very famous physician and author, and part of his practice when working with people is that he actually also takes them, and I think he has a facilitator there, and utilizes ayahuasca in part of the treatments and things that he does. And he has used it a lot actually for people who have experienced trauma, for working with people with addictions and that sort of thing. And so really, as the ayahuasca is growing in popularity, dispelling some myths and just kind of bringing some clarity to the plant medicines. So in your practice, I know that you work with ayahuasca. Yes?
Yes.
And what are some of the other ones? Like, what does a typical ceremony look like for you?
Well, typical ceremony the way that we facilitate the ceremonies is like a mix. I've been traveling and learning and practicing with many different tribes and elders and different ways, exploring and studying. So the way that we're sharing is the way that I understand from all of them. It's like a union of the traditions, because I do believe that right now the plant is traveling faster and traveling more and more and coming out of the jungle to people like us to facilitate not just indigenous people, because it's part of the spirit of the plant and the spirit of Mother Earth wanting to accelerate the process of awakening of humanity, of healing. It's time for us to wake up faster and help Mother Earth for the ascension, that it's happening in the universe, and the Earth must be part of that. And humans need to remember that memory of being part of the earth. And that's why I feel these medicines are traveling, and that's why we are working in a combination of putting together all the traditions as one.
So how does a plant medicine, how does it do that? How does it help, elevate our ascension, and how does it open up our hearts basically?
But she's a very wise living spirit. No, it's not just a psychedelic experience like a drug. Like there is this confusion because we have altered states. It's a life spirit that is helping us to go deep in our subconscious, deep into ourselves, to explore and to find out, to transform, and to let us know what is there for us to heal, or even to receive, no, to let go old information, receive new information. And what it makes is that it shifts the information between the trauma is not anymore a trauma, it's just a memory, because it shifts the way that we perceive our memories by
So
going to the
something
root.
happens to you when you're little. So something
Yeah, when
happens
you're
to you
little,
when you're small.
when there's a traumatic experience in life, sometimes we block it, we don't remember it, or sometimes we just kind face similar experience because we get blocked. And with ayahuasca we can go deep into the root of why this happened to us, and how to deprogram the memory of the pain. How to also let go the attachment of feeling the connection of that memory. No, sometimes we feel identified by that, and we think that our personality is based on that, and we don't know who we are when we don't have that pain anymore. And this is what ayahuasca is helping for us not to identify anymore with the pain or with the trauma, and be free.
Okay, so it can okay, so let me ask you. So if you have buried a traumatic event, if I'm hearing you correctly, when you are going through an experience with ayahuasca, it can bring up that traumatic event. Is
Yes,
that true?
and
Okay.
yes, not everybody, but many people can have that experience of remembering what happened, and remembering why they are having issues in certain parts of their life.
So is there not danger in bringing up something as well? I mean, what protects you from, maybe you're suppressing that memory because this is a matter of self-protecting yourself, right? So when you open up that memory, how does that assist you?
Of course, in the moment, there will be a process. The process with ayahuasca is not that you take it and it heals you and that's it. It's a process, no, where we are going to first of all go inside, explore the subconscious, explore our hidden memories, our hidden fears, our hidden traumas. After that, we're gonna go deep in the cleansing. No, this is where these memories sometimes appear. No, and as some people know, this medicine is a medicine that cleanses us. No, in many different ways, we can have different ways of releasing energy. So this will start happening. You will start releasing that energy. Could be crying, could be vomiting, could be sweating. Mm, there's many ways, no, that the medicine can make you release, shaking. And we, this is our job for us to keep this the space safe, no, to hold the space so they can go through the process in a safe way, and that people don't go into fear or into doubt. No, this is how we help them with music, with different instruments that we use, no, like flowers, plants, um, oils, so people can go through that.
So
After,
I had an experience with ayahuasca, and we had a shaman there, and he explained that you may go through all the levels or none of the levels, or everybody's different, right? But it could start with what I believe he termed like the serpent level. And then it was the puma, and then it was I think it was the condor as you elevated. And for me, it was really interesting because during the exercise in the serpent, it was all this fear that then took me to, I think it was the puma, where I was with my family, and it was really lovely. And I was remembering all these beautiful memories. From when I was married. I've been divorced for a very long time. And I remembered all these beautiful memories because I think after time, it's not that I remember the bad memories, but I kind of forgot the good ones. So in that
Mhm.
experience, it was all this love that was there and all this beautiful thing. And then remembering that I was the one that wanted to get divorced, and I was the one that triggered getting the divorce. And then came all this guilt that I didn't know that I had. And so for me, that's when all the vomiting started. And when I was vomiting, I knew that it was almost like I had these big hairballs of guilt until I
Mm,
was finally able to get it all out. And then elevate
exactly.
to the higher level where we were all,
Yeah,
there was just nothing but love. And that was the message for me at the end, that the only thing that matters is love. There's nothing else. So
exactly.
is
So
that kind of
after,
what you're describing, right? Like I had this
yeah,
very guilt that if somebody would have said, "Do you feel guilty about it?" I would say, "No, I don't." I mean, I wanted a divorce for these reasons. I don't feel guilty at all. But that wasn't true. I did feel guilty, and I didn't
exactly.
know
This
that
is
I
this is
did.
like the process. This is the process where this subconscious takes you to those places that we are not able to reach with with our consciousness. No, that maybe we are happy with our decision, but we don't know we're carrying some things in our back that becomes like heavy stones. And this is what the
Yeah.
medicine makes. No, it makes us see it, face it, and cleanse it, purge it out. After we go through the process of cleansing, of releasing all this energy, this is where we elevate. I would say that in between the puma and the eagle or the condor, there's a hummingbird that is
Mm.
the vibration of love, the vibration that connects us with superior realms. No, this is where we start understanding that we are alive, and this is the most precious thing. That having a life and having relationships are really important for us to value, no, to understand that it's a gift. It's a gift to be in this human experience, not just the mundane life, but just to recognize, no, that life itself is a gift and a miracle. And from that vibration that we can connect, we elevate to the eagle or the condor, that it's like where we can see clear, no, see with more clarity. And it's not that everybody will go through that and everybody will understand the same, and it's very, very different and a very independent and individual process for each one of us. Some people don't have a good experience, and it's not that they're done, it's just that some people are really attached to their pain, and they don't want to let it go, so they struggle, no, but in the end the medicine is making you see and making you face who you truly are. And this is the main the main thing about doing ayahuasca, no, to observe who you truly are and where are you at. This is what she will show you, where are you at.
Now you keep referring to ayahuasca as she, and so they I've heard it described as a mother spirit. Is that true?
It's a mother spirit. Actually, her spirit is a huge anaconda. It's in Mexico we call
Mm.
her grandmother. In Peru, they refer to her as mother. She's like the mother of all plants. She's
Wow.
an elder.
Now you work with other, well, plant medicines, but I know that you talked about bufo and cambo, which are actually from like a frog and a toad. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Can
So
you can you
uh,
tell me about those and what your process is? 'Cause I think you put them all together.
yeah, mostly in our retreats we make a process, so people can go in different levels, because all these medicines work in different levels of our bodies and our understanding. No, so when we get to ayahuasca, we can do it open and free and easily. Let's say, no, without fear. So Cambo is a frog from the Amazon. Um, it's a beautiful, very humble animal, and there's a lot of controversy about the hunting of this animal because there's many people talking about the way that the medicine is taken, and if there are frogs that they are killed. The way that we personally get the medicine is with the tribe over there, and how they do it is that they sing to these frogs. They silver and they sing, and these frogs naturally come to them. And there's a little process of stress. They stretch their arms, and this is how they release their poison, let's say. And
From
this
under
is
their
what we
arms?
get from
Oh,
the top of their arms and the
okay.
legs. And they just take them very softly and put them in some pieces of wood, and this is what we get, no, the pieces of wood. So this is a very powerful poison that this frog is releasing, and in the jungle they don't have pharmacies, pharmaceutics, and doctors so easily. So this is the way that all these tribes they're keeping their health for years and years.
Hmm.
And it's a very powerful medicine that it's detoxing. Especially, like the main point of this medicine is to detox the body. It will um, take away all the poison, all the toxicity, and all the hidden emotions and thoughts that are not good for the body because they become chemically also bad for the organs, like the bile, that we produce when we get angry or when we get frustrated, and we can produce a lot, and that hurts the liver or the gallbladder. So it will start cleansing in a very deep way. What it makes is like a deep washing into the organs. And this is what we're
Hmm.
going to start taking out, vomiting. And at the same time, it's a very powerful boost for the immune system. It increases the strength of the immune system. So it's like a vaccine, a very powerful one. And it's a medicine that it's preventive and healing. So we can use it for treatments for specific sicknesses, or we can use it just as a vaccine to protect the body and to detox the body as well. So it's a very, very
So in your
powerful way of cleansing the body in a deep way, and start also uh, feeling lighter with releasing the thoughts. No, it's like very subtle, very
Mhm.
gentle, but it works very deep in the mind. No, it brings clarity, brings grounding, and also in the feelings. No, the emotions also get cleansed, so you don't feel so heavy. If you're having too much sadness, it will release it. Too much anger, it will release it.
So and then and that was the bufo, correct?
That was the cambo.
Cambo, and then from that you moved to the bufo, which is a
After
toad?
that, the toad of this is a toad that lives in the north of Mexico. This is a Mexican medicine in Sonora. And this is also a very humble animal. No, there is no need to make crazy huntings. They are very humble. They are easy to catch. And this medicine is this frog, this toad. They have like glands in their back that look like blisters, and sometimes to defend themselves, they release this gas. Sometimes you need to squeeze that, and they release this gas that by trapping this gas and put it to dry, it becomes crystals of 5-MeO-DMT. So, as you know, DMT is a natural chemical that we produce when we are born and when we die, sometimes in very deep meditations. But the amount of DMT that this toad contains is kind of the same when we die and when we're born. So it's a very, very
Wow.
powerful rebirth experience. Ayahuasca also contains DMT, but it's not the same level of MEO. So this medicine is a very powerful experience to to feel the connection with the divine source. It's a true liberation of the soul. It's a very fast experience. because it's so powerful, where we disconnect completely from the mind, from the emotions, from who we are, and we just become a divine presence in the light of the divine. And this through breath that we receive that information. We just inhale the source. Yeah. It's difficult to
Hmm.
explain because it's a very, very spiritual connection. And sometimes it's difficult to put it in human words, but this is as close as I can describe it.
So, and then from there you follow to the ayahuasca, yeah? Or you finish with the
Uh-huh.
ayahuasca?
We finish with cacao.
Oh, that's
Ayahuasca.
right. So then you have the ayahuasca and you finish with cacao, which is chocolate, yeah?
Yes. Well, in the beginning, we start with a suetloch, a temazcal with a Mexica tradition. That it's a process of detoxing the body by sweating in a little house, that we make a ceremony with the elements so we understand the basic of being a human in this earth beyond our labels, because we are lost in the labels of I am a mother, I'm a
Mhm.
child, I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer, or whatever. We never get to really explore humanity, no, what is to be a human. So I think this is very important to understand and to work with plants, work with animals, work with medicine. No, so first we start with that process of connecting with with Mother Earth, with the elements and the cycles of the earth. Then we go to the Kambo, that it's the physical cleansing. After that, we connect the spirit, no, with the liberation of whatever your spirit is holding, and you can feel the freedom. And after that, we go deep into the process of ayahuasca, and by having the body cleanse and the spirit cleanse with ayahuasca, we can go in an easy way,
Hmm.
exploring ourselves. And after that, we close with cacao, which is chocolate. But as you know, chocolate, cacao is being corrupted. The spirit is being corrupted by putting milk and sugar, and we all know all these chocolates, no, Ferrero Rocher and Snickers. But this is putting the spirit of cacao to sleep. And the spirit of cacao is a very powerful spirit that it's helping us to awake the most powerful um, spirit of love in ourselves. No, it's a medicine that it doesn't have a psychedelic experience. It's just um, a, a, a seed that it's allowing to segregate all the chemicals that we produce when we are in love, like
Mm.
oxytocin, serotonin, and all these chemicals that makes us feel inspired
Mm.
and open and loving, no, so we can have this love for ourselves especially, but also have this love and compassion for the relationships that we might need to heal. So this is the way we close our retreats, no, by celebrating with a cup of cacao, so we can feel the gratitude and the love that of the strong work that we did before with all the medicines. And
So, and during all of this, there's music or there's chanting or there's, and how important does that play into the experience?
well, I think this is one of the most important parts and roles of the retreat and the medicine path, because, well, music is a universal language, and music is the guide and the master that takes you, no, that guides you through the process,
Yeah.
in all the medicines, especially in the ayahuasca. So we are having different ways. We are, as a combination that we did. We go through first a shamanic process with chants, icaros, and different singing that the same medicine is telling us to do. No, she's guiding. We're channeling her. Let's say like this, and this is where we uh, make the space safe. We protect the space. We call her spirit. We call our intentions, um, and the different work. No. After that, we open with a sound healing, and this is a very interesting way because sometimes when we have words, it's easier to follow the words to have a journey. No, if you hear all the time, oh, love and light, it's easier to go through love and light. But if you don't hear words and it's just sound, the sound will awake different parts of you, of your subconscious, and this way you can um, have a guidance through the music, but with your own mind, not with the interference of someone else. And this is a
Mhm.
very interesting because the we have different instruments from all the world, like more than 30 instruments that will touch different vibrations, different parts of the soul, of the body, of the mind, and bring different experiences. After that, we create more space with medicine music where we sing more, and it's like the process we were talking about the animals is kind of the same, no, when we are reaching the hummingbird, opening the heart and rising ourselves to a new site. This is where we start singing and sharing more music. We are a very large group of facilitators in the ceremonies. We are a community and we all sing together. We have like, yeah, all together, some music.
What is your story? I mean, what brought you into really living your life in the plant medicine space,
Well,
facilitating and bringing it to other people? What brought you there? Here.
I I didn't know it was gonna be like that, but I since I was very young, very little, I've been called to explore Mother Earth, to be in nature, to be. Um, um, I- it's a call to the mysticism, to the shamanism, and even though when I was a child I didn't know what shamanism was, but I was called by it. So in the moment I finished school, I start traveling mostly in nature around the world. And immediately I start connecting with plant medicine. Um, so I explore and explore with many different plant medicines. I was walking um, here in Mexico, no, with here in Mexico, the medicine of Mexico is peyote, hikuri, we have in the desert.
Mhm.
So I went studying in the desert with some grandfathers over there, and understanding, how those the plants work in the planet and in the human body. And after that, I couldn't stop, even though I was not living from that or nothing. I was just doing my life, and every time I went to see and explore different paths. I joined
Mhm.
Santo Daime Church, which is a church that comes from Brazil, where they consecrate ayahuasca. It's part of their practice and their lifestyle. So for a while, it was part of my life. No, we have certain
Mhm.
practices in the year. No, so I was just going to do those practices, and after that, I joined the Red Path, which is it's a prophecy actually that comes from North America, that it's talking about the union of the eagle and the condor. So when the eagle of the condor meets in the center of the Americas, all the tribes, all the different tribes of the America from the north to the south will join in one path, and this is called the Red Path. And it's the union between the ayahuasca and the peyote, and the union of all the belief systems of the indigenous. So there's certain um, ceremonies, rituals in order to be part of this path, and like a vision quest, and sun dance,
Mm.
moon dance. So I joined this path and I was walking that path for a while, and then I got an invitation to Peru, and I went to live there, work with the Shipibo shamans for 2 years. And this is where, through a master over there, the plant came to me and told me that I need to stop receiving and I need to start giving because I already took enough. It's time for me to give. So I didn't know how or what does that mean. But when I came back to Mexico, naturally, some people asked me to start sharing medicine. And this master on Peru, he gave me some ayahuasca. So this is how I started, by these people asking me. So I opened this bottle that my master gave me, and it was my first time to share the medicine. And since then, that it
Wow.
was like 7 years ago, I've been sharing and more and sharing. I started drinking medicine when I was 19 years old. So I've been drinking over 20 years. No, I've been in the path, let's say, but I've been sharing, like me sharing with my husband, like 7 years ago.
So for people that this makes nervous, for example, and I'm not promoting it or not promoting it. I mean, I have experienced ayahuasca and nothing else. And I have, I don't know, I guess it's fear because I have a son with a drug addiction. And so it all kind of brings in fear of that. So for people that would be afraid of something like this, of medicine, and see it more like if it's a drug or something like that, what would be your response to that? How is it?
Well, I
Yeah.
feel that uh, fear is part of it. No, having fear to do these things is a way of having respect, because we know that we're gonna go through a very strong, not easy process. I don't think I think it's normal to be afraid, and it's part of it. If you're not afraid, it means like there is no there is no respect. Let's say, I don't know, but I think it's
Mhm.
part of the challenge. No, that will take you to embrace the process that you will go through. And I would say, like, for addiction, it's very powerful, and it's completely the opposite for, like, some people don't understand how to heal addiction with drugs. But as I said before, the difference between drugs and plants is that they're having a living spirit, and it's not us that we're doing the healing, it's the plant. No, it's the spirit of the plant that it's doing the healing. And it's taking you, first of all, it's cleansing your body from the chemical drug. It's cleansing, and making you see the root of why you are attached to that substance, why you are attached to the feelings that it's giving you, no, and why, like, going into the root of why you started doing it, or what is attaching you to that. And first of all, like, cleansing your body from that, it's making the process of releasing addiction faster. No, of course, it's not a magic pill that you take and it will all go away and you're illuminated. It's just a tool, but it requires intention, will, and wanting to heal, wanting to go forward, and making the changes that she is teaching. Because a lot of things that people are confused about it is that people drink medicine and then they come back to their old life and nothing changes. And this is because we're
Mhm.
not listening, we're not putting attention to the true shifts that we need to do in life. And she's very clear, she will make you see it, but if we don't listen and we don't make the change, then nothing happens. It happens when we awake the willpower to do the change.
So I will say that when I experienced ayahuasca, I went in with the real intention. There was something that I needed to know. And I feel like that answer came to me. And so afterwards, I felt a lot of peace. But I have had a couple friends that have gone through a bigger experience and they feel very unsettled after the experience. And so, what about that left them feeling maybe even more anxious afterwards? What
Mm.
could be missing
I
in
think
the
that
process?
it's important to have, like, this is why I like to do it in retreats, because it's very important to have a grounding and um, an integration. Without integration and leaving the people finishing the ceremony going home, it can be very confusing. No, sometimes the mind
Mm-hmm.
gets trapped in certain places that is just about bringing the thought in the right place. It's not that there something wrong is going on, it's just that it's not in the correct place. No, so we need to put order, and I think that has to do a lot with integration and with closing properly the ceremony, closing properly the spirit of the people in the end of the ceremonies. Um, so it's very important that if people are going through process after it, like anxiety or like not having clarity, that they have the access to the people that they are drinking with, no? That the people that are sharing the
Mm-hmm.
medicine are there for these people so they can cleanse them and have an integration after that. And it's very very easy actually to put them back by having an integration. I have a method, no, to for people that are coming to our retreats in the integration, that is allowing them to have a practice. So whenever anxiety or the old patterns, the old habits are coming back, so they can rely to that method and realize, remember the process that they went through the medicine, and awake their will and their intentions, their love, and everything. So I think it's not all about the medicine, but the process. Yes,
Yeah,
tell me.
and that's what I was gonna say. It's so important to have your facilitator, that's there, that understands the process and supports you, because as ayahuasca has, grown in popularity, I know that there are also some people that obtain the ayahuasca and they have ayahuasca parties, for example. And so you do it without all the other elements. It's not to be used for that purpose. It's really a spiritual ceremony, right?
Yeah, this is actually
Yeah.
something that it's very sad, but in the more that the medicines are uh, having popularity and traveling around the world, they're using it as drugs, as a psychedelic experience, and this is why there's so much confusion and so much danger and so much people getting lost, because it's a very very um, sacred and powerful and dangerous let's say thing, that if you don't have the proper guidance, the proper
Yeah.
environment, the medicine opens you in a spiritual way, in a physical way, and you're just vulnerable outside there with all the universe. And if there is no guidance, no, you can receive things or you can let go things that are not good for you, let's say. And yeah, there's a lot of danger about many people also thinking that they are ready to share the medicine, and they're just giving the medicine,
And
putting
they're
some
not.
play some music, and letting the people just go through a whatever they go. And so it's, I definitely think it's very important to trust in the facilitator and to choose wisely when and how are you doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
agree. Yeah, in my son's journey, because there's an iboga that comes out of Africa as well, and iboga is a plant medicine that they say has been very effective for opioid addiction and things like that. And so he participated in that as a healing method, but he had the wrong facilitator. And I
mm,
found in the facilitator, and it was the wrong person. He really wasn't qualified to do that, and it actually, I think, made things worse, because he had the experience, but not the proper support afterwards. So I think that's so important, is that I think these plant medicines are beautiful, and I think that they're very healing and wonderful. And my experience was wonderful, but it's so important to be with, a trained facilitator in that space, not just somebody who's doing it for fun or somebody who's doing it for another business adventure, right? Somebody that actually really understands the process. And like I said, and there's a lot of people
totally.
like Dr. Gabor Mate, that who is very well known, who uses plant medicines in treating his patients. I think they go to a facilitator. I don't think he facilitates it, but he participates. And so he brings a lot of validity to this and understanding to the space, and also says that you have to be, with the right facilitators and the people that actually know what they're doing in the process.
Hmm. That's why so many people are going direct to the jungle with the indigenous, no? Because I do understand for myself, no, that people see me and they see a blonde, white woman. I can understand that people don't trust. No, is there's many things, no, that they're important to observe, but mostly we need to have a to awake our intuition, no, to awake our true,
Mm-hmm.
open, like it's something inside that will let you know immediately if it's correct or not. Also, you can rely on what the people say about you or what other people have already experienced. No, it's good to have to get to know the people that you are doing the medicine with, because I also have many people that are coming for us because they have horrible experiences, previous experience with people that they weren't ready, or they're doing it, as you say, um, because of money or just ego. I don't know.
Right.
No, so definitely the most important thing is that knowing that we are not the ones that doing the healing. We are just holding space for the spirits to do the healing, and these spirits are
Yeah.
choosing us somehow. No, this is what I understand. No, they are choosing certain people because we are um, open enough to channel them and to to allow her or allow them to work through us, no, and this is what is for me the most important, no, to be at the service of the plants and the service of the people that they are needing help. And that's why I prefer to do it in retreats, because we can have the time to talk, to share, to work. If anybody has a process after the ceremony, we can we also do different other kinds of therapies. I do biomagnetism and biokinetic reading, so we can also help them when the ayahuasca gets too much in their minds or they're creating anxiety. So we're complementing with many other things, no? So people can live with a proper healing and not just a
That's beautiful.
experience.
I just find really thank you for spending this time with us today. I personally find plant medicines very interesting. I find my curiosity and at the same time my fear very interesting, because I know that that's all because of the thoughts that I have and the conditioning that I have that, creates that fear. But when I've experienced and been in the space, and it's not just the ayahuasca, but the music and the chanting and the ceremony that went along with it, it was actually quite beautiful. And so thank you so much for spending this time
Of
with us
course.
today. And I have a final question for you. So this is the I Love Me Lab podcast. And so if you were going to give one little bit of wisdom to any listeners on taking care of themselves and loving themselves, what would that one thing be?
I think the most important is to truly every day give some self care, self love to ourselves and observe it. It's like observing and taking care of us as if we were our child. How would you treat a baby or a child? We would never let him crying alone or with hunger or with a cut, or we always will take care and take care that they are safe and feeling comfortable. And I think this is how we need to treat ourselves, and we forget about that we stop seeing ourselves as a vulnerable human existence. We think we are strong and we need to go for it. And I think the most important is to observe ourselves as little childs and awake that little child inside of us and take care of it as much as we can. Give self care and self-love every day. And this will expand to all our relationships. So little by little, all can we feel compassion to each other.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. And if any listeners wanted to reach out to you or to find out more about your work, how could they reach you, Pamela?
So we have a website coming soon. In this week, we're releasing it. It's called ayaruna.mx. You're very welcome to write, or just in my personal Facebook or Instagram, Pamela Dharani. You're very welcome. Thank you so much, Gail.
Thank you. And we're going to be including Pamela's contact information in the show notes. And thank you again for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave in the comments if you'd like more show like this. I find these kind of topics so interesting, and I hope you do too. So thanks again, and we will see you next week. Thanks so much for listening to this conversation. If you enjoyed it and want more information on our guests and resources, please visit ilovemelab.com. And please, if you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share with a friend. Hey, there's more great episodes to come. So until next time.